Okay, hi people. So today we will be starting our lecture on ratio, proportion, and variation. Now this will be comparatively a shorter video because of the fact that ratio, proportion, and variation doesn't have doesn't have in itself many questions coming on this concept. It actually has its application in the other chapters. For example, ratio you'll find application in say percentages or alligation and mixtures or even decimals. And this proportion thing, you will find the application of this proportion in concepts like unitary method. Unitary method is something like we'll be discussing it in the next video. So unitary method are questions that for instance five children are eating 40 chocolates, so how many will eat 20, all that stuff. And along with that, time, speed, and distance, and work done. So all that stuff will have the application of the proportions. Then this concept of the variation, this is nothing but a sort of a superset. So this is nothing but a sort of a superset for the proportion. And we'll be looking it ahead and you'll get it that what variation is actually all about. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's start with the concept of the ratio. Okay, so talking about a ratio, assume that we have two students. Say one is Ram, the other is Shyam. So Ram was actually scoring 40 out of 50, and Shyam was scoring say 82 out of 100. Okay, so Shyam was scoring 82 out of 100. So can we say that Ram is a better student, or Shyam is a better student as Ram? No, we cannot. This was actually the foundation of the concept of the percentages. We actually need to have a common base to compare this. So now if we say that Ram is actually scoring 80 out of 100 and Shyam is scoring 82 out of 100, now we can definitely say that Shyam is a better student. Shyam is a better student as compared to Ram. So percentages, decimal, all these concepts were more or less a comparison out of the base. For example, you will always have things like that he scored 2 out of 100. For example, student S1 scored 2 out of 100. So you are always talking about the performance of that student with reference to the base. Now when we start comparing one student with the other student, see, there is nothing different. You compare it with the base or you compare it with the other student, there is nothing different. But the concept of the ratio was that when you start comparing one student with the other student or one quantity with the other quantity, then it is nothing but the ratio. For example, if I say S1 by S2, so I will say that 2 by 4, and this is like 1 by 2. So I can say that student S2 is scoring twice the student S1. So this is actually a comparison of the two quantities. Now there is nothing different. Specifically, ratio was always a comparison between the two things with an equal base. For example, we had student S1 scoring out of 100 as well as the student S2 scoring out of 100. So we could easily compare because they had a common base, and that is what the ratio is all about. So you need to have a common base. That is very important. You need to have a common base. I cannot compare a student who is scoring marks out of 50 or a student who is scoring out of 100. I need to have that common base of 100 or maybe 200, and then I am in a position to compare those two students. Okay, and it is more or less comparing two quantities. With percentages, it was mostly with percentages it was mostly out of the base or out of the total, and with in ratio it is mostly the comparison of the two things. See, we can also say ratio doesn't say that you cannot compare out of this. So even I can say that if I have to compare student 2 out of total, so he was scoring 400 out of 100. So I can say that student S2 is 1 by 25 times of T. Okay, or student S1 is 1 by 50 times of T. So you can have a ratio with reference to the total, or you can have the ratio with reference to one or the other quantity. I think you got the point. Okay, so ratio was mostly used to have a common base, and it used to be a comparison of two quantities with one another. Okay, so that is what the funda of ratio is all about. Now one thing that I would like you to note about the ratio is, okay, so let's say A and B, A is to B is 3 is to 4. If it is in terms of efficiency, so we can clearly say that A is actually 0.75 times efficient of B. So he has a less efficiency compared to B. Okay, and we say that, okay, B is to C efficiency is 8 is to 5. Okay, so in order to compare the efficiency of A, what we can do is that we can equate this B. Okay, we cannot do it like A is 3 is to 4 and B and C is 8 is to 5. So what we can do is we can multiply it by 2 and we can equate it. We can say 6 is to 8, and with B is to say is always 8 is to 5. Now we can clearly say that A is to B is to C is 6 is to 8 is to 5. Now we can compare them on the common base. Okay, we can compare them on the common base. I can say that A is 6 times 6 is to B. A is to C is 6 is to 5. So what I am doing is that you need to have a common point of reference if you want to compare two quantities. Okay, there is also a formula for that. For example, if you have A is to B, say 3 is to 4, and you have B is to C, that is 4 is to 5, and you have C is to D, and this is 9 is to 3. So you also have a formula for that. So you can clearly say that N1, N2, N3 is to D1, N2, N3 is to D2, D1, D2, N3 is to D1, D2 and D3. You can also find the ratio using this formula. So this is like N1, N2, N3. So this will be like 3 into 4 into 9. So N is for the numerator. So this is like 36. And this is like 36 into 3. This is like 36 into 3. Second one is D1 will be replaced by this. So this is like 36 into 4. Then you will have like this 20. This will be like 20 into 9. And this will be like D1, D2, D3. So this will be like 20 into 3. Now you can solve this and you can get the common ratio of all the 4 quantities. If it is given like 4 values you are being given with, so you can always write N1, N2, N3 and N4. Now replace this N1 with D1, then replace this N1, N2 with D1, D2 and so on. Okay, so this is one of the trick or formula that you can always use for the comparison. Okay, then comes the concept of proportion. Okay, so we should have studied variation first, but let's see what proportion is all about. It is nothing, it is not very complicated. Okay. So a proportion is more or less, so we'll talk about a variation. So it is more or less like a linear variation. For example, you have the x over here and you have the y over here. So for instance, if you say that, okay, if you say that Ram is scoring 80 out of 100, so definitely you can say that out of 200 he is scoring 160, or out of 50 he is scoring, out of 50 he is scoring 40. And this is what the concept of the proportion is all about. Okay, you always do this stuff, even in the case of the percentages. For example, if he is scoring say 20 out of 25 marks, then 20 out of 25 marks, then that out of 100 he'll be scoring 80. So that is what the proportion is all about, and you have been using it in the decimal as well as you have been using it. For example, if you want to find out that how much he'll be scoring out of 1, so what you will do is you will like 80 into 1 is equals to x into 100, and that x would be nothing but 0.80. Okay, and that is what the concept of the linear variation is, or proportion is. This concept is used a lot in the concept of the work done and all. For example, you'll have questions like, okay, so one work is being done by 80 men in 2 days. Okay, so let's say कि 40 chocolates, 40 chocolates 40 chocolates are being eaten by 5 children. Okay, so one children will eat how many chocolates? 8. Okay, so he'll eat 8 chocolates. So this is what the entire concept of the linear variation or the proportion is. So they will increase in a line. For example, if this was 1, this was 8. If this was 2, this was 16. If this was 3, then this was 24. So the concept is that x upon y is always a constant term, and this is what a linear increasing. So you can also call it as a linear increasing variation. Linear because it is a line. Linear increasing variation. Okay, and that is what the concept of the proportion is all about. Out of 100 he is scoring this, so that has to be a constant. So if this is 200, then that constant value of 4 by 5 has to be maintained. So this will be 160, and this concept is used immensely in the concept of the work done and all. Okay, so we'll see that ahead. Okay, so this is what the proportion is all about. Now there are few things that we can take note of in proportion. Okay, so the first thing is that, so proportion, so the first thing is, for example, you have like A is to B. So you always refer a proportion like this, C is to B. This is nothing but, this was like, okay, like you had, okay, 20 out of 50. So you will have like 40 out of 100. So this is just a representation, like 20 is to 50 is to 40 is to 100. Now this is called as extremes, and this is called as means, and this is no rocket science that they will have a cross section. For example, 20 into 100 will always be equal to 20 into 100, or A into D will always be equal to B into C. Okay, this is 50 into 40. This is what is called as key product of means is equals to product of extremes. You can just remember this property. Then the second property would be, so okay, so you have like a mean. So what is a mean proportion? What is a mean proportion? And you will have two values given. For example, what is the mean proportion of 20 and 100? So for calculating the mean proportion, just place both these values at the extremes and just take this as a square. So this would basically be a square root. So you will say b square is equals to 20 cross 100, and this b is actually called as the mean proportion. Okay. So the third property that you have is, okay, so if you are given like a is to b is equals to c by d, then always remember that a by b upon b is equals to c plus d upon d. This is what is called as the property of the componendo. And a minus b upon b is equals to c minus d upon d. This is what is the property of dividendo. Okay, now if you will, if you will apply it, or if you will apply it into a single property, so this will be like a by b upon a minus b is equals to c plus d upon c minus d, and this is called as componendo and dividendo. Okay, now why this is basically used is, why this property is basically used is because of the fact of solving some sort of the ratios. Okay, if you want to simplify some ratios or you want to solve some ratios, then you can basically use these kind of properties. For example, if it is given like 4 by 3 is equal to 8 by 6. So you can use all those property. For example, if you'll use it over here, so this will be like 7 by 1. 4 plus 3 upon 4 minus 3 is equals to 14. 8 plus 6 upon 8 minus 6, and this would be nothing but 7 equals to 7. It is basically used, this property of componendo and dividendo is basically used to prove something or calculate some values or simplify some ratios. Okay, so this is what the entire application of proportion is. You just need to remember these things. Okay, just remember it that it is nothing but a linear increasing variation. Okay, now let's move ahead and we will see that what actually the broader concept of the variation is, which has been claimed to be the subset of this concept of the proportions. Okay, so let's talk about variation now. Okay, so we had understood the concept of proportions. Okay, so this was like, if you are scoring 20 out of 100, 20 out of 40, then you will definitely score 1 out of 2. Now why this was is because of that it followed a linear increasing proportion, or for this x and y, for this x it was directly proportional to y. Okay, or x was equal to remove this sign, we'll say x is equal to some constant times y, that is x upon y was always a constant. Okay, this is what the concept of, this is what the variation is. This formula, basically this formula or this sign is actually what implies the variation. It is called as a direct variation. It is called as the direct variation. It is the sign of the direct variation, and this relation of x and y is basically a claim of a direct variation, that as the x increases, y also increases. Okay, so this is the symbol of variation, and the kind of the relation x and y have, it basically signifies that it is a direct variation, a linear variation, a 1 degree variation. Okay, Similarly, we could also have other forms of the variation. For example, we could have x is directly proportional to y square, or y is directly proportional to x square. So when x is 1, y is something like, say, 1. When x is 2, y is something like 4. So this is also a direct variation, that is, as x increases, y also increases, but it increases in a square manner. Okay, so this is what the variation is all about. It is an increasing variation, but it is not in the terms of the linear increment. Okay, so the linear increment was specifically called as the proportion part, but for others we don't have any specific term. So it will all come in the category of variation. Now in the similar manner, if we have x increasing, then y decreasing in a linear manner. So this is like x is to y. For example, you can talk about time, speed and distance. Okay, so it is a very easy concept, that if you have a very high speed, if you have a good speed, then you will take less time. Okay, so if you have a high speed, then you will take a lesser time. If you have like a mid-range speed, then you will take more time. And if you have a very slow speed, then you will take large amount of time. So as your speed increases, your time decreases, and that too in a linear manner. That is, it is basically decreasing in a degree of 1. And this is what the formula looks like. And this is like x into y is always constant. And it is where it comes from, ki speed into time is always equal to distance. So you always have to keep this constant intact. So if the speed increases, the time has to decrease. Okay, so this is what the concept of indirect variation is all about. Since it is of degree 1, it is called as linear. In the similar manner, we could also have x is inversely proportional to y square. So we could have something like this. So x is indirectly proportional to y square. So as x increases, y decreases very rapidly, not in a linear manner, but is a degree of 2. So this is what the indirect and direct variation is all about. Okay, I think you got the concept. Okay, so a variation is a very larger set. So you have all sorts of variation. You have a basically indirect variation in a degree of 1, indirect variation in a degree of n, where n could be anything. Then you have direct variation. When it is a linear direct increasing variation, it is what is called as a proportion. Okay, so you should always remember this stuff. Okay, you will always have, see, in the increasing future, or mostly questions in CAT, you will always have this variation. Either it would be a linear increasing variation, like x is to y. Example, like you have, so you have 40 chocolates being eaten by 5 boys. So you know that you have to maintain this constant of 8. So for 8 chocolates, you will require just 1 boy, because you have to maintain that constant. For 16 chocolates, you will require 2 boys. And this concept will extend to your unitary method and work done. In the similar manner, the time, speed and distance, or even in the other concepts, even in the concepts of work done, you will find the indirect variation, that is x is inversely proportional to y. If you have a speed of 40 kilometer and you take 2 hours, then for a speed of 80 kilometers you will take 1 hour, because this constant of 40 into 2 and 80 into x has to be equal, and this would say x is equals to 1. Okay, so you will, in the coming futures or mostly questions that you will come across in any management exams, it would be a linear increment or decreasing. Okay, so yeah, that is enough for ratio, proportion and variation as far as the theory is concerned. Now we can see some questions on that and you'll get it more clearly. Okay, so let's see some questions. Okay, these questions specific to ratio, proportion and variation. See this, the ratio of the A salary to B salary is this. So you can write it as like A is to B is 2:3. Okay, the ratio of the B salary to the C salary is this. So B is to C is nothing but 4:5. Now they are interested in knowing what is the ratio of the A's salary to the C's salary. Okay, so for that you basically need to common that. So for that, the first you can multiply by 4. So A is to B will look by, you can multiply this by 4. So this would be like 8:12. Now for this you can basically multiply by 3. So this would be like, so this you can multiply by 3. So this will be like 12:15. And now you can say A is to B is to C, that is nothing but 8:12:15, and A is to C is nothing but 8:15. Okay, so you got it, that A's salary is equal actually 8/15 times of C's salary. So it's very less, almost half. Now the trick I told you, you can easily get the answer from that as well. So if it's given like A is to B is 2:3, then B is to C is 4:5. Just remember the formula for that. Okay, and it has to be like this. So if you have a denominator over here, the numerator in the next has to be here. If it is denominator here, then in the next you need to have a, you need to have this pattern. For example, this is C is denominator here, so in the next it should be a numerator. Okay, so just keep it in that pattern. Then you can use the formula n1 n2 n3. So it is for 3 variables, d1 n2 n3. Okay, no, it is for 3 variables. So we will have just 2 values. Okay, so this is like n1 n2 is to d1 n2 is to d1 t2, and this will be like 8:3:4 is 12:15, and you could have directly get the answer from here. Okay, let's see the next question. So the next question is that x by y is given as 3/4. Okay, find the value of the expression. So I have given the answers over here as well in the bold part. So 8:15. Now x is to y is given as this, then find the value of the expression this, 5x minus 3y upon 7x plus 2y. Now why I gave this question is because of the fact that using componendo and dividendo and various techniques or tricks, you will be asked to simplify a ratio. So you will be given sort of questions like this is, okay, say it is given like, you are given something, some more part over here. So like it is 5x minus 3y is equals to 7x plus 2y is something like okay, 3:1, and you have to solve it. So you will use the property of the componendo and dividendo. So what you will do is 5x minus 7x minus 3y minus 2y, and you will use all this stuff. You will use all this stuff to simplify the ratio. Coming to this question, you will simply use a trick over here. So this is like 5x minus 3y upon 7x plus 2y. So divide by y, the numerator divide by y and the denominator. So this will be like 5x by y minus 3 upon 7x by y plus 2. And this x by y will be given by 3 by 4. So this is, okay, 15 by 4 minus 3 upon 21 by 4 plus 2. So this is nothing but 3 is to 29. Okay, 3 is to 29. So you will get the answer from here. It was basically used to give you that in proportions you can have the application of the componendo and dividendo to solve for x and y. Then let's see the last question. It is on the variation part. So we have done with the ratio, we are done with the proportion, then the variation part. So x varies inversely. So this is like inversely. So this is like y square minus 1 and is equal to this. So you know that x y square minus 1 should always be a constant. Okay. Now is equal to 24. So x is 24 when y is 10. So this is like 10 square minus 1. So this is the value of the constant as well. So what they are interested in, you find the value of x when this is equals to y. So this is like 5 square minus 1. Okay, so this should also be equal to 24 10 square minus 1 and 25 minus 1 24. This will cancel out and x is equals to 99. Okay, so this was a simple question on the variations. Okay, just remember what direct variation is, what indirect variation is, and you will have only these type of questions coming on this ratio, on the variation part. Okay, now let's talk about the main concepts. Now the main concept is, because this ratio, proportion and variation always will have its application in the other topics. Okay, for example, this is a question for the number system. The ratio between two numbers is 3:4 and their LCM is 180. The first number is, okay, just try and see this. So if we are given with two numbers and if we are given with the LCM, then we know that the first thing that should strike us is कि number 1 into number 2 is always equals to HCF into the LCM. Okay, so number 1 into number 2 is always equals to HCF into the LCM. Now just remember this fact that whenever you have any two numbers, for example you have 2 by 4, if you divide these number by, you don't need to remember it, this is actually factual. If you divide these numbers by the highest common factor, then you will have a simplest ratio. For example, 2 was always written like 1 by 2 and this was always written by 2 square. So their HCF would be 2. Now if you divide by their HCF, then they will always come out to be in the simplest ratio. Okay, they will always come out to be the simplest ratio. Now the ratio between the two numbers. So if, see this, so this is the simplest ratio, that these two numbers could have been. If this was given like 6 by 8, then we would have further reduced it. So we would have reduced it like this, because it has to be the simplest ratio that they could have been into. Now if this is the simplest ratio, then there is a high probability that they were divided by their HCF. So the number for this was, if the HCF is H, the first number was 3H and the second number was 4H. And if we are saying that this is 3H, this is 4H, and the HCF is always H and the LCM is 180. So you will have this cancelled out and this will be like 12H is equals to 180 and H is nothing but 15. So the first number would be 3H, that would be 45. So just remember this, whenever you have two numbers who are being divided with one another and they come out to be in the simplest ratio. then those numbers would have been divided by their HCF, or those number would have been divided by their HCF. Okay. Okay. So in this case, if you would have calculated for this 6 by 8, then the answer would have come out to be okay. So you actually missed the 2 in this. In the HCF part, you actually missed 2. So this would have come out something to be 7.5 and all. Okay. Because you didn't reduce it into the simplest ratio. So if you want a simplest ratio, divide those numbers by their HCF. Okay. So this was the application of, what you can say, this was the application of ratio in number system. Okay. Okay. Now let's talk about the next question. So that is we will be doing a lot of questions on this part. If 30 men working 7 hours a day can do a piece of work in 18 days. Okay. So just try and see this. So this is 30 men, 7 hours a day, and they do a piece of work in 18 days. Okay. So one man will do it in, okay, one man working 7 hours will take larger number of days. It's so obvious that if a single man is working, he will take more number of days. Now this is because this is also a concept of variation. For example, if you have 30 men and you have 18 days, so you are completing the work. Now if you have a single man, then of course you'll be taking a larger number of days, and this is what the concept of the indirect variation was. Okay, indirect variation was, so you will be taking like 18 into 30 days, so this will be like 3 like this, and one man in 1 hour will be taking 180. Of course he'll be taking more number of days, and this will be like 7. And this is another concept of the indirect variation. Okay, then you will have like, okay, then you will have like 21 men doing it in, okay, similar indirect variation. So you had, okay, so you had one man working it in these number of days, that is 180 into 3. So definitely 21 men will do it in lesser number of days. So this is like 1 hour, and this will be like 180 into 3 into 7 upon 21. And if you will say the hours, that is 8 hours, you divide it by 8 as well. So this is like 1 3, this get cancelled by this, and this would be like, okay, so this is nothing but 90 by 4, and this is nothing but 22.5 days. 22 and a half day they will basically end up this work, and this is the concept of the indirect variation. Okay. Okay, so we'll be doing a lot of questions on this work done and all. Okay. Okay, let's move to something else. Okay, 6th question. The speed of 3 cars are in the ratio this. The ratio between the time taken by these cars to travel the same distance would be. The distance is constant. It is also, see, speed and time are always indirectly related, and that constant. So speed is indirectly related to time, and this constant is nothing but distance. Okay, so the speed of the car is given as this. So I can say that 2x, 3x and 4x. This was basically the speed of the car. Then you have like the time travel. So time travel would be distance upon the speed, that is d by 2x, okay, is to d by 3x is to d by 4x. Now solving this, you will get 1 is to 2 is to 1 is to 3 is to 1 is to 4. Now how to solve these ratios? Take the LCM of the denominator. So the LCM of the denominator will be 12. Now multiply with this. 1 is to 12 into 12 is to 1 by 3 into 12 is to 1 by 4 into 12. Okay, so whenever you want to see this, the fractional, whenever you want to see the fractional ratios, just take the LCM and multiply this, and this will be like 6 is to 4 is to 3. And this is so obvious, because if you have a lesser speed, then obviously you will be taking more time. If you will have a mediocre speed, you will take a mediocre time. if you have a high speed, then you will take lesser time. And this is what the answer for the time taken indicates as well. And this is nothing but an indirect variation. Now let's see the last variation. Okay, let's see the last question. Okay, a cask contains a mixture of 49 liters of wine and water in the proportion of this. See, ratio was nothing different. In mixtures, in alligation and mixtures, what we used to do is, we basically used to compute it in the manner of ki out of total. For example, they say that wine is in the ratio 5 to water, which is in 2. So in the concept of mixtures, we used to say that if you have 7 liters, then 5 liter is a wine. We basically used to compute out of the total part. So ratio is nothing different. It is just the ratio of two different quantities rather than with the base or the total. So we'll do it in the similar manner. Okay, so we used to do it rich one here, poor one here, and then the average one over here. Okay, so rich one. So the cask contains a mixture of 49 liter. So this 49 liter is actually contributing 5 out of every 7 liter of the solution. Okay, how much water must be added to it? So that now how much water is this, how much wine is this contributing? This is actually contributing 0. This is actually contributing 0 out of 1. Okay, so this is actually contributing 0 wine out of that 1 liter wine. Okay, it is actually computing 5 by 7. Now this is x, and how much you want? You want 7:4, but 4 is the ratio of the water, so the total would be 7 by 11. Okay, and now the similar manner. So this is like x by 49 is equals to 5 by 7 minus 7 by 11 upon 7 by 11 minus 0. So this would be nothing but, okay, so 55 minus 49, this would be nothing but 6. This would be like 55 and this would be like 49, so this would be 6, and 7 by 11 you have. Okay, so this will be like 7 into 7, and 11 will cancel out, and this is like x upon 49, and this will cancel out with this, and x will be equals to 6. So the answer to that would be 6. Yes, the answer to that would be 6. So we clearly saw it that you don't have specific questions of the alligations, ratio, proportions, or the variations. They are very rare, but you will have its application in other chapters. Okay, so I hope that you got the concept of this ratio, proportion, and variation. We will be continuing in the next lecture the major application of this, the work done and all. This is very important, and far more important would be TSD, and that we will be discussing in a lot of detail, and I can assure you in the fact that time, speed, and distance will be your best concept once you study it from me. Okay, so that's all for the video. Thank you for your time. Hope you had a wonderful session, and yeah, see you in the next vid. Thanks.